succeed. With zero support, Machiavelli's laws for men, no one will save. If you need encouragement to move, you're already owned. This is the cold playbook for turning isolation into leverage, betrayal into clarity, and zero support into unstoppable strategic dominance. If you need support to move, you're not a man, you're a project. And projects get funded, managed, and shut down by people who don't respect them. What you were taught is wrong. Encouragement is not love, it's a leash. Approval is not safety, it's surveillance. They clap so you keep performing. They believe in you so you keep obeying the version of you that benefits them. Few understand this. Most men fail because they confuse being liked with being protected. They think popularity is armor. It isn't. It's a receipt, proof you've been purchasable at a discount. Here is the real battlefield. Support is a currency. People spend it to buy your compliance. A boss praises you so you'll accept extra work without extra pay. A woman supports your dreams so you'll tolerate disrespect to keep access. A friend has your back as long as you stay smaller than him. The moment your path threatens their comfort, the support stops, and if you collapse, you were never strong. You were rented. Law 1 is simple. Any man who requires validation is controllable, and controllable men are disposable. When you need someone to tell you you're doing fine, you are handing them the steering wheel. They can reward you, starve you, or shame you into any direction they want. You call it motivation, they call it control. Understand the mechanism. Support creates dependency. Dependency creates negotiation. Negotiation creates compromise. Compromise creates delay. Delay creates weakness. And weakness attracts predators because predators don't hunt the strongest man in the room. They hunt the man waiting to be saved. Abandonment isn't a tragedy, it's a filter. When people stop calling, stop inviting, stop checking in, good. The parasites detach when the host stops feeding them attention. The cowards disappear when you stop making your life easy to consume. Isolation reveals your operating system. Do you run on discipline or do you run on applause? Most men can't handle that test. They interpret silence as a verdict on their worth. So they start bargaining. They become emotional beggars, texting too fast, explaining too much, offering favors, buying drinks, working late, apologizing for having standards. They don't realize what they're doing. They're paying a tax to be tolerated. And emotional beggars accept bad deals, bad friends because they'd rather be used than alone. Bad women because attention feels like oxygen when you're starving. Bad bosses because a paycheck becomes permission to humiliate you. Bad habits because numbness is easier than mastery. This is why support is dangerous. It trains you to outsource your momentum. You stop moving unless you're watched. You stop building unless you're praised. You stop fighting unless someone promises you a medal. That is not strength. That is a trained performance. Power begins the day you stop needing witnesses. When nobody is coming, you stop negotiating with reality. You stop explaining. You stop seeking consensus. You build in silence because silence is efficient. Silence doesn't argue. Silence doesn't distract. Silence doesn't betray you at dinner and then smile in the group chat. Here's the inversion that will offend weak men. Being unsupported is not unfair. It's normal. The world doesn't owe you reinforcement. The world measures you by outcomes, not effort, not pain, not intention. If you need a crowd to function, you are not built for leadership, you are built for employment. So take the advantage. No support means no obligations. No audience means no performance. No allies means no divided strategy. You can move faster because you don't have to convince anyone. You can be harsher because you don't have to be liked. You can be precise because you don't have to be understood. Stop asking who's with you. Decide what you're taking alone. Assume betrayal, then you'll never be surprised. You think you're surrounded by your people, but you're one bad week away from being alone. If that offends you, good. Your ego is the first liability to eliminate. What you were taught is wrong. Loyalty is not a virtue people carry. It's a price they pay when it benefits them. Few understand this because most men can't survive the idea that affection is conditional. Assume betrayal, then you'll never be surprised. Not because everyone is evil, because everyone calculates quietly, constantly. Betrayal isn't personal, it's profitable, or it's safe, or it's socially approved. And when those incentives line up, your history together becomes a story they rewrite in 5 minutes. Here's the cycle you keep misreading. You rise, your competence becomes visible, your momentum exposes their stagnation. Now you're not inspiring, you're threatening. They don't attack you directly at first. They reframe you. Suddenly, you're arrogant, selfish, too intense, changing, hard to work with. That narrative is permission. Once the room agrees on the label, sabotage becomes reasonable. Most men fail here because they expect loyalty like it's a moral debt. So they build their life on promises, handshakes, vibes, late-night talks, brother language, romantic assurances. Promises are not assets. They don't pay out when the weather changes. The man who expects loyalty designs a life that collapses the moment someone gets scared. Trust is not a feeling. Trust is a contract backed by consequences. If there's no consequence for disloyalty, you don't have trust. You have hope. And hope is what predators farm. They watch for the man who needs to believe because he's the easiest to redirect. So you operate like a strategist, not a son begging for family. Keep receipts, not for drama, for leverage. Memory is negotiable. Documentation isn't. If you can't prove it, you can't punish it. And if you can't punish it, you're asking to be lied to. Keep options. Never let one boss, one client, one partner, one friend group become a single point of failure. Dependency is an invitation. The moment they realize you have nowhere else to go, they will charge you rent, disrespect, extra labor, reduced terms, public humiliation. You will pay it or you will leave. Build so leaving is always affordable. Keep distance. Access is earned in stages. The faster you let someone in, the faster they learn how to hurt you. Information is ammunition. Your plans, your fears, your next move, those are not sharing. They're exposure. Assume betrayal, and you stop being shocked. You start designing. Treat loyalty as rented, not owned. Build accordingly. Isolation is not loneliness, it's operational security. You think you're alone because no one supports you. That story makes you weak, and weakness makes you manageable. What you were taught is wrong. Community is not strength. Community is often a committee, and committees exist to slow down anything that threatens the comfort of the group. Few understand this. Most men fail here, not because they lack talent, but because they can't sit in silence without begging for noise to tell them they matter. So they run back to people, and the moment you run back, you're back under management. Isolation is not loneliness. it's operational security. Isolation is not an emotional diagnosis. It's a strategic position. When you're isolated, you have fewer witnesses, fewer leaks, fewer opinions, fewer vetoes. That's not a tragedy, that's containment. Every witness is a liability. The more people who know your plan, the more people can distort it, delay it, or sell it for social points. Men don't just sabotage you with malice. They sabotage you with concern, with jokes, with advice that sounds wise but is engineered consequence. If your plan requires consensus, your plan is already dead. Consensus is the tax you pay to stay liked. And the payment is always the same. Smaller goals, slower timelines, softer edges. You call it being reasonable. The world calls it not a threat. Consultation dilutes intent. Every time you ask for input, you trade precision for comfort. You trade speed for permission. You trade your original objective for something that won't offend the least capable person in the room. Diluted intent produces mediocre outcomes because it was designed to. Consequence: broadcasting invites interference. The moment you announce what you're building, you create a target. Not just for enemies, those are easy. You create a target for friends who need you to stay where you were so they can keep their story intact. You'll hear, "You've changed." Don't get obsessed. Be realistic. Translation: return to your assigned role. Move in private. Announce only after the win is irreversible. Privacy is not hiding. Privacy is preventing negotiations you never agreed to. The public announcement is not motivation, it's exposure. Exposure creates debate. Debate creates delay. Delay creates weakness. And weakness attracts predators who specialize in helping you for a price. OPSEC protocol: silence, separation, and sealed channels. Keep your goals unspoken until they have teeth. Give people results, not drafts. Share process with no one who can vote on your life. If someone demands explanations, they're not curious. They're checking whether you can be steered. Isolation is not the absence of love. It's the absence of interference. And interference is what destroys men who could have won. Stop explaining yourself. Execute quietly. Kill the need to be understood. If you need to be understood, you're already on a leash. The moment you crave their get it, you hand them the steering wheel to your standards. What you were taught is wrong. Being misunderstood isn't a tragedy. It's camouflage. It's cover. It's the space where you build without interference. Few men can tolerate being the villain in someone else's story. Most men fail right here because they'd rather be approved of than effective. They trade outcomes for reputation, then call it being a good man. It's weakness with better branding. Kill the need to be understood. Your life is not a courtroom. You don't need a defense attorney. Every time you explain yourself to people who don't control resources, don't share risk, and don't pay the cost, you are begging for a verdict from a jury that hates you. Explanation is negotiation disguised as communication. You explain, they question. They question, you soften. You soften, they learn the pressure points. Soon, your standards are flexible, your timeline is reasonable, and your ambition is a bit much. That's not conversation, that's extraction. Consequence: the need to be understood makes you predictable. Predictability makes you exploitable. If they can trigger you with misunderstanding, they can steer you with accusation. Selfish, arrogant, cold. These labels aren't observations, they're tools. The goal is to make you perform penance until you return to the version of yourself that was easy to manage. Stop defending your intent. Enforce your boundary. Intent is invisible. People argue with it forever. Boundaries are physical. They either respect them or they lose access. When someone demands an explanation, ask one question. Do you have authority here? If the answer is no, you owe them nothing but a decision. Replace explanation with results. Results don't require translation. They either exist or they don't. Explanations invite debate. Debate invites delay. Delay invites interference. Move from, "Let me tell you why," to "Here's what's happening." No committee, no emotional audition. Replace emotional disclosure with controlled disclosure. Your fears, your doubts, your next move, these aren't being real. They're ammunition. Share only with people who are bound to you by consequences, contract, equity, mutual risk, or verified loyalty through action. Everyone else gets the weather report, not the blueprint. Enforcement mechanic. 3 sentences max. 1. The decision. 2. The boundary. 3. The consequence. Anything beyond that is you chasing understanding. And chasing is submission. They will misunderstand you on purpose because it gives them a reason to oppose you without admitting envy, fear, or dependence. Let them. You're not here to be interpreted. You're here to win. Let them misunderstand. Your outcomes will translate for you. Build a private code, then enforce it like law. You think you're alone, but the truth is worse. You're undisciplined. And undisciplined men don't get saved, they get used. What you were taught is wrong. You were told discipline comes from motivation, support, accountability partners, and being inspired. That doctrine was designed for men who need permission to function. Few understand this. When you outsource structure, you hand over sovereignty. Most men fail because they keep waiting for a mood, a friend, or a deadline to whip them into shape. Build a private code, then enforce it like law. No one is coming, so you become the system. Not a vibe, not a philosophy, a code. Your code must be short, brutal, and measurable. No poetry, no balance, no loopholes. If it can be reinterpreted, it will be. Your future doesn't need meaning. It needs compliance. A code is only real when you can fail it on paper. Sleep is non-negotiable, not because it's healthy, because fatigue makes you suggestible. Tired men negotiate with themselves. They buy comfort. They leak standards. Set a fixed sleep window. Protect it like a border. Break it and you pay. Training is mandatory, not for aesthetics, for aggression, posture, and pain tolerance. Your body is the chassis your will rides in. Weak chassis, weak will. Minimum standard, lift or conditioning on schedule, regardless of mood. If you don't feel like it, that's the point, you go anyway. Skill acquisition is daily. Isolation is wasted if you don't convert it into leverage. Pick one marketable skill, track hours, produce output. Certificates are decoration. Competence is weaponry. If you didn't build a skill today, you didn't advance, you just survived. Money discipline is enforced. Spending is character. Debt is obedience. Build a simple rule set. Automatic saving/investing, fixed discretionary cap, zero impulse purchases. If you can't control cash flow, you can't control your life. Someone else will always own your calendar. Controlled social exposure. People are not support, they are influence. Keep contact purposeful. No drifting, no emotional dumping, no explaining your plan. If interaction doesn't increase power, it's entertainment, and entertainment is how men get domesticated. Consequence: without a code, you become a democracy of impulses, and democracies collapse under stress. Hunger votes, lust votes, fear votes, comfort votes. The loudest impulse wins, and you call it how I felt. That's not freedom. That's a mob running your body. Enforcement, reward compliance, punish deviation immediately. Delayed punishment trains weakness, missed training, same-day penalty, extra work, reduced leisure, earlier bedtime, financial freeze, something that hurts now. Compliance earns privileges, controlled leisure, upgrades, strategic rest. Your nervous system learns fast when the consequences are fast. Protocol, the daily audit, 3 questions, no lies. What increased power today? What leaked power today? What gets cut tomorrow? Write your code tonight. 5 rules, measurable, no loopholes, then obey it like it's armed. Convert pain into output, or it will convert you into a victim. If pain knocks you off your mission, you're not sensitive, you're controllable. And controllable men get used, then discarded. What you were taught is wrong. Pain is not a stop sign. Pain is proof you're separating from the herd. Comfort is what keeps most men obedient. Discomfort is what forges the few who can't be domesticated. Most men fail here. They don't metabolize pain, they romanticize it. They talk about betrayal like it's poetry. They turn doubt into a personality. They collect wounds like credentials, and they stay broke, soft, and predictable. Convert pain into output, or it will convert you into a victim. There is no third option. If you don't weaponize the emotion, it will weaponize you. It will become addiction. It will become distraction. It will become healing that never ends. It will become a lifetime subscription to self-pity with a motivational quote taped on top. Emotion is fuel. It is not a steering wheel. You don't let rage pick your targets. You don't let loneliness choose your standards. You don't let resentment decide your schedule. Emotion is combustion. Direction is doctrine. If you steer with feeling, you'll crash into the same walls on repeat and call it growth. Pain is a timer, not a therapist. You do not process for hours. You do not spiral. You do not confess your way into clarity. Confession is often just negotiation with weakness, and weakness always asks for more time. Use the rage window. Set a hard limit, 10 to 20 minutes. You feel it fully, on purpose, without commentary. No phone, no messages, no music designed to keep you stuck. You name it once: betrayal, humiliation, rejection, abandonment. Then you shut the door. When the timer ends, you execute. Not later, not after you understand. Immediately. Convert the emotion into measurable production the same day. Pain without output is just weakness with a story. Your nervous system learns what you reward. If pain leads to collapse, you train collapse. If pain leads to work, you train dominance. Your conversion targets must be concrete. Pages written, calls made, reps completed, hours practiced, dollars saved, deliverables shipped. No vague, I tried. Numbers or silence. Track output like evidence. You don't need a mood tracker, you need a scoreboard. Every day, record 1. What did I produce today? Quantity. 2. What did I avoid today? Truth. 3. What will I produce tomorrow before noon? Commitment. If the page is empty, the pain won. And if the pain wins repeatedly, you become the man who has a lot going on and nothing to show. Use pain to harden standards, not soften them. Betrayal doesn't mean trust less and hide. It means vet harder and build faster. Doubt doesn't mean explain yourself. It means outwork the courtroom. Abandonment doesn't mean seek comfort. It means remove dependency and become your own supply chain. Stop processing, start producing. Become your own patron. Money is the only reliable ally. You're not unsupported. You're unfinanced. And until you can fund your own life, you're not a man with principles. You're a man for rent. What you were taught is wrong. Freedom doesn't come from confidence, friends, or believing in yourself. Freedom comes from money. Few understand this. Most men fail because they crave independence, but refuse the only price that buys it: boring consistency and delayed gratification. Become your own patron. Money is the only reliable ally. If you need permission to eat, sleep, move, or speak, you are owned. The world doesn't have to hate you or control you. It only has to pay you. Dependency is a chain. Track who holds it. Your boss, your lender, your girlfriend, your parents. Anyone covering your bills can rewrite your behavior. When your bank balance is low, your standards become flexible. You call it compromise. It's obedience. Broke men can't be principled. They become negotiable. You won't walk away from disrespect. You'll tolerate it. You won't tell the truth. You'll soften it. You won't take the long view. You'll take the deal. Poverty doesn't just limit options, it corrupts character by force. Kill the consumer identity. It is designed to keep you small. Most men aren't underpaid. They're undisciplined spenders with a costume budget. Status purchases are tribute paid to strangers. If you buy to feel something, you're not buying a product. You're buying a leash. Build a war chest before you build a fantasy. No war chest, no leverage. Your first financial goal is not investing. It's survival independence, cash reserves that let you say no without flinching. Reduce fixed costs like you're cutting weak links off a chain. Every monthly obligation is a knife at your throat. Income that requires permission is not power. Build income that doesn't ask. Skills, sales, leverage, ownership. You want zero support? Then stop expecting a salary to save you. Stack competencies that produce money on command. Learn what people pay for. Sell it. Deliver it. Repeat it. Certificates are decoration. Cash flow is proof. Buy time. Time is the asset that builds every other asset. Outsource low-value tasks when you can. Keep your calendar clean for production. Money is stored time. Spend it to protect your future output, not to numb your present discomfort. Money doesn't make you moral. It makes you unbribable. When your bills are paid and your reserves are deep, manipulation stops working. Guilt loses its teeth. Threats become noise. You don't need courage. You have options. This is the reality. Nobody is coming, and support is a fairy tale sold to men who can't fund their own campaign. Stop seeking allies. Fund your own campaign. Control access. Scarcity makes men respect you. If people can reach you whenever they want, you are not a man. They are managing a resource. If your phone owns your attention, your time is already somebody else's property. What you were taught is wrong. Being available isn't kindness. It's low status. It's a signal that your life has no mission worth protecting. Few understand this. Most men fail here because they confuse access with love. They hand out their time to feel chosen, then act shocked when they're treated as disposable. Control. Access. Scarcity makes men respect you. Access is currency. Spend it like a poor man and you'll be treated like one. Overexposure creates entitlement. If you answer instantly, explain yourself, and keep showing up no matter how you're treated, people learn a simple lesson. You're free. Free things get used. Used things get disrespected. Disrespected men get sabotaged quietly, socially, professionally, not with open war, with delays, exclusions, forgetting, and half support that poisons outcomes. You don't need many people, you need doors and an exit. Networks aren't families, they're infrastructure. The only leverage you have inside them is your ability to walk away without begging. If you can't leave, you're not connected, you're trapped. Isolation is not the problem, dependency is. Selective responsiveness is a filter. Not everyone deserves same-day access to your mind. Set response windows, batch replies, let non-urgent messages sit. Watch who collapses into disrespect when they don't get instant gratification. That's your list of future liabilities. Controlled vulnerability. Never bleed in public. Most men overshare to buy intimacy. They donate secrets and call it bonding. In reality, you're giving ammunition to people who haven't earned trust. Share logistics, not wounds. Reveal facts, not needs. If someone requires your weakness to feel close to you, they're not building you, they're collecting leverage. Strategic favors. Only, no free labor. Do favors that compound. Introductions, high-value information, referrals, a single decisive action. Never become someone's ongoing help desk. Recurring favors train people to treat you as a utility. One-time favors create gratitude. Repeated favors create expectation. Expectation turns into resentment the moment you enforce a boundary. Clean exits, no trials, no closure theater. When disrespect appears, don't negotiate your dignity. Reduce access first. Shorten replies. Stop volunteering. Remove your presence. If it continues, cut clean. Explanations are for equals. Predators interpret explanations as openings. Relationships are a portfolio, rebalance, or go broke socially. Diversify, mentors, peers, clients, allies of convenience. Stop over-investing in one person or one group. Concentrated social exposure creates concentrated risk. Cut losers fast, the chronically late, the gossip, the just checking in time thieves, the ones who only appear when they need something. Your mission requires a perimeter. Without one, you will be farmed for attention, labor, and emotional supply until you're empty. And then they'll call you unstable for finally snapping. Make access expensive, then watch behavior change. Win in silence, then rewrite the story after. If you need witnesses to work, you're not ambitious, you're domesticated. If you require applause to continue, you're already managed by people who did nothing for you. What you were taught is wrong. Share your journey. Be accountable. Let them support you. Few understand this. Most men fail because they announce the war before they've built the army. Win in silence, then rewrite the story after. Construction is private. Conquest is public. Reverse it, and you die by interference. Secrecy during construction. Visibility during conquest. When you publicize a plan, you invite management. Critics arrive to feel superior. Helpers arrive to attach strings. Friends arrive to measure themselves against you. Every conversation becomes a tax. You start explaining instead of building. That's how your calendar gets occupied by spectators. Never leak ambition, leak proof. Ambition triggers resistance because it threatens people's rank. Proof triggers compliance because it looks inevitable. The world doesn't reward potential. It rearranges itself around outcomes. So stop offering your future as a debate topic. Bring receipts or bring nothing. Don't ask for belief mid-build. Belief is an invoice. When you ask someone to believe in you, you hand them authority over your mood. Now they can withdraw support and watch you shrink. That's ownership. You don't need believers, you need results that make disbelief expensive. Build in this order or stay weak. Skill to proof to leverage to narrative. Skill is private competence. Proof is public evidence. Leverage is options, clients, cash flow, exit doors. Narrative is the story you allow people to repeat. Most men invert it. They start with narrative. They post, announce, promise. Then they scramble to become the man they advertised. That's how you become a performer instead of a producer. Control information like ammunition. Overexposure creates targets. If people know your moves, they can delay you, distract you, forget you, or poison the room before you enter it. Silence is not shyness. Silence is perimeter control. You don't show the blueprint to people who didn't pay for the building. Let outcomes create gravity, then choose what you reveal and what you deny. Perception follows power. The story that survives is the story attached to the winner. Once you have undeniable results, you don't argue. You publish selectively. You speak in numbers, in timestamps, in finished work. You don't confess struggle to earn sympathy. Sympathy is cheap and it lowers your price. You give the minimum explanation that increases authority and protects your next move. When they finally notice, rewrite the timeline. They'll say, you got lucky. Let them. They'll say, overnight success. Confirm it with a straight face. The point isn't to be understood. The point is to be obeyed. Mystery increases status. Details invite critique. Your job is not transparency. Your job is dominance. You want support? Earn inevitability. Stop performing progress. Deliver outcomes. Become the source, so support becomes optional. If you still need support to move, you're not alone, you're domesticated. And if you keep waiting for someone to validate you, you will die as a background character in another man's story. What you were taught is wrong. The goal was never to be supported. The goal is to become the source. So support becomes optional and betrayal becomes irrelevant. Few understand this because it requires permanent separation from comfort and consensus. Most men fail here because they can't stop craving witnesses. Become the source, so support becomes optional. Accept the verdict. Nobody owed you anything. You weren't abandoned. You were tested. Life removed the applause to see if you had a spine or a script. Consequence. If you interpret silence as injustice, you will spend your life negotiating for attention instead of building power. Build your life so losing anyone changes nothing operationally. Read that again. Not emotionally, operationally. If one person can destabilize your schedule, your money, your focus, your identity, then that person owns a lever inside you. Consequence. Dependence turns every relationship into a bargaining table, and you will be negotiated downward until your standards look like being realistic. Issue your own mission, no committee, no consensus. A self-issued mission is the first act of sovereignty. You decide the objective, the timeline, the price. You do not find yourself. You assign yourself. Consequence. Men without a mission become employees of other people's priorities. They call it being helpful. It's servitude with better branding. Install a private code so your mood stops voting on your future. Your code is not a quote on a wall. It's a set of non-negotiables: sleep, training, work block, study block, money rules, and who gets access. No debate. No, I don't feel like it. Feelings are weather. Your code is steel. Consequence. If your discipline requires inspiration, you will only perform when life is easy, which is exactly when performance matters least. Financial independence first, because money is insulation from manipulation. If you can't walk away, you're not free. If you need their check, their housing, their connections, their approval, you will swallow disrespect and call it maturity. Build income that doesn't require begging. Build reserves that don't require explanation. Consequence: poverty isn't just lack of cash, it's lack of options, and lack of options turns you into a compliant man. Make your output undeniable. Proof replaces persuasion. Stop trying to be understood. Produce results that force recognition without asking for it. Numbers, finished work, receipts. You don't argue your value, you demonstrate it, then set the price. Consequence: men who rely on persuasion become performers. Men who rely on proof become gravity. Control access like a ruler controls borders. You are not a public utility. You are a power center. Access to you must have a cost: time, respect, alignment, contribution. If people can reach you whenever they want, you are not connected. You are managed. Consequence: unlimited access creates entitlement. Entitlement creates disrespect, and disrespect eventually becomes sabotage. Make support a bonus, not a requirement. You don't need allies. You build infrastructure. You don't need encouragement. You build systems. When support arrives, you use it. When it leaves, you don't flinch. That's the standard. Consequence: if your stability depends on others, you will accept smaller goals to keep them comfortable and call it love, loyalty, or being a good guy. This is the final separation: consumer of permission versus source of power. One waits to be saved, the other becomes the reason things move. Comment: zero support. If you're done begging for approval, subscribe for the next laws and send this to one man who's still waiting to be rescued, then close the app and execute. If this hit uncomfortably close, you already know what to do.